There's a difference though in a man who's looking into the future by himself and one who envisions a future with you by his side. Are you getting my drift? Open your ears wide. Because see, you will carry sense, you will have sense, knowledge, you will carry knowledge. Say no to the era of being used and dumped. Have it at the back of your mind that a good man would never let a woman fall in love with him if he doesn't intend on catching her and dating her. Ladies, another thing that you should not allow in 2024 is giving room for too much excesses or making excuses for men who are not putting their best foot forward. Once you feel a type of way, babe, leave. We're in this together in 2024. I'm not going to sit here and watch you make mistakes. So men who are different than the rest don't need to tell you that they're different. They don't need to impress you. Just like wealthy people don't tell you that they're wealthy. Or cool people don't tell you that they're cool. Why? Because they don't need to. They have nothing to prove. The way they live their lives, the way they treat other people, including you, the way they show up in the world and carry themselves will just tell you the full story. You don't even need to be told by him that this is who he is. Look for calm and quiet confidence. So I'm charging you. It's a clarion call. Hey guys, welcome to the last episode in the year 2024. My name is Jane Lawrence and I come with a lot of juicy content. On today's episode, I'm going to be telling you or showing you 12 signs to see that you've finally met a man that is different from the rest. All right. See, babes, we are preparing to get into 2024 with our eyes shining to see the real, to differentiate the real from the fake. So I'm getting you prepared. So you better click on the like button, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a video because next year we're not playing. We're not. We're taking all that the devil is taking from us. All right then. Number one, he's direct about his intention from the very beginning. Now, one of the items highest upon women's wish list when it comes to dating is that we just wish men would be honest about what they do or don't want when it comes to dating. I mean, a guy will say one thing will mean something completely different, or he will talk a big game to get your interest, but not really be ready to make a full commitment. Or even worse, his feelings will be real from the start, but it will change over time. And then he will lead you on for far too long instead of just being honest about how he feels or he's feeling or he's not feeling. So a big differentiation between men and the men who actually deserve your emotional investment is that the latter will be upfront and honest about what he is or isn't looking for. Now, it takes an immense amount of emotional maturity and strength to be direct about your feelings or to be direct about our feelings, especially if it's not what the person on the receiving end wants to hear. Now, you would say to yourself, I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't want to hurt his feelings. So what's the alternative? You just disappear, ghost her or him, you stop the call. That might feel a lot easier for you, but in reality, that's just cowardly. It's a cowardly way out of the situation that you're in. Men who live with dignity and integrity will be honest at all times, even if the truth is more painful. Same thing goes for women. At least your partner will feel that you respect him or her enough to be honest. Of course, there is the alternative. He's fully committed and really interested in building a future with you. This is even more important to be honest about because it gives you the permission and freedom to begin developing feelings in return. You can become excited. You can start opening up to him. You can start letting your guard down. Now, when all of these things starts happening, that is precisely when and why complete uncensored honesty is required in your relationship so that your partner knows how you feel about the situation. So have it at the back of your mind that a good man would never let a woman fall in love with him if he doesn't intend on catching her and dating her. Whenever it feels like, oh, you're getting mixed signals, or he's not giving you attention the way that you wanted, then just know that he's not just interested. Ladies, another thing that you should not allow in 2024 is giving room for too much excesses, giving room or making excuses for men who are not putting their best foot forward. Do you get what I mean? Do not give excuses. Once you feel a type of way, babe, leave. We're in this together in 2024. I'm not going to sit here and watch you make mistakes. I'm not going to sit here and see you cry and waste your time with men that do not deserve your time. We're ending everything in 2024. We have to come to an agreement in this community that we're ending all of those things in 2024. Number two, he doesn't try to sell himself to you. Now, some guys don't know that it's quite irritating when they try to sell themselves bigger than they really are, just so that women will take them seriously by calling names of celebrities or famous friends that they have, or wearing the shiniest, watch in the collections, or flaunting connections at the best restaurants in the city, making sure that you know that he has the biggest house in the neighborhood. Listen, I get it. Success is appealing. Some of these things might actually be impressive to some women, but not unless it's a good and genuine person who has accomplished all of it. And the truth is that you attract what you lead with. In the same way that women who flaunt their looks inevitably attract men who only want them for their looks. Men who flaunt their money attract women who are just looking for a fat wallet. And that's a fact. And it's not just about money though. A lot of guys try to tell you how great they are to get or to keep your attention. So you have to be smart enough to figure out who is trying to make you feel, trying to impress you so that you can stay. Understand that empty barrels make the loudest noise. So men who are different than the rest don't need to tell you that they are different. They don't need to impress you. Just like wealthy people don't tell you that they're wealthy. Or cool people don't tell you that they're cool. Why? Because they don't need to. They have nothing to prove. The way they live their lives, the way they treat other people, including you, the way they show up in the world and carry themselves will just tell you the full story. You don't even need to be told by him that this is who he is. Look for calm and quiet confidence. A man who knows what he brings to the table is far more likely to be looking for an equal, a teammate, a partner in life. A guy who's so insecure that he has to prove himself to you at all times will never shut up for a long enough time to learn what makes you so great. So number three, he pays attention to little details. Do you know what else a guy who never stops talking about himself can't do? He cannot pay enough attention to you to hear and remember the things that you are actually saying. He cannot listen. He cannot absorb and really process who you are, what you are about, what makes you tick, what is important to you. And these details though, big and small, are the very things that make you. And as such, they should be the things that draw him to you more than anyone else. But then again, you will tell me, oh, men just aren't wired to remember details like that. Okay, are you serious? Ask him who won the World Cup in 1992. If he will not tell you before you blink an eyelid. It's funny what a guy can remember when something is so important to him. So pay attention to how he listens to you. It's about a lot more than just sitting there and nodding while you talk. It's about follow-up questions. It's about helping the flow of the conversation, responding with his own similar experiences, drawing connection between you. Because anyone can just sit there, but not everyone will truly engage with you. Are you getting my drift? Number four, he understands manners. He understands etiquette and class. Most men, let's face it, people in general are sorely lacking when it comes to etiquette. In fairness, I think that it's no fault of their own, as you cannot expect to know something that you were never taught. Most of us were never taught etiquette in school. But that excuse really only carries you so far into adulthood, when the responsibility is yours to choose how you want to show up in the world. To be honest with you, you don't need to go to finishing school to understand the basics, the pleases, the thank yous, the showing of gratitude, the holding of doors and pulling out of chairs, the napkins on the lap, the elbows off the table, the calm, cool, collected demeanor that projects a relaxed energy to those around you. See, most guys are barreling through life and love with little to no regard for the finer details. But the truth is that those are often the ones that send the loudest messages, that make the loudest noise. Number 5, he talks about the future with you. Listen, ladies, not all men have a clear-cut goal or vision for their future, but the ones that you would date do, because you simply wouldn't settle for anything less. I would not encourage that. There's a difference, though, in a man who's looking into the future by himself and one who envisions a future with you by his side. Are you getting my drift? Open your ears wide, because see, you will carry sense, you will have sense, knowledge, you will carry knowledge. Remember the mantra for next year. It is to date to marry, not to date to have sex. Shongba, are you hearing me? Sister, if you make mistake, I will flog you. Don't try it. Don't try. So what I'm giving to you are basic knowledge that you should know. You should carry it like armor if you want to get the best out of 2024 in your dating relationship, if you're still single like me. Hey, we've made enough mistakes in 2023. We're not carrying it into 2024. So I'm charging you. It's a clarion call. Say no to the era of being used and dumped. So even if it's early on into the relationship, is there talk of marriage? Is there talk of family, shared goals, similar vision for his life than you have for yours? Of course, not everybody wants to get married, and not everyone wants to have children. We're all free to make our own decisions in life. And the fact is that what someone chooses for their own life is your own business, except for when they enter into a lifelong committed relationship, and then it's our business. Do you get? Now, it doesn't matter what they want for their future, but it does matter if it aligns with what you want for your future. Men who are ready to step up to the plate, to make this level of commitment, to be in a serious adult relationship where forever is a potential goal, they will have no problem talking about what the future could look like. So if he avoids the subject, he may be unsure about whether or not he pictures you in it. Or even worse, already he's sure and he just doesn't have the heart to tell you that you're not in the picture. Number 6, he communicates with depth. Now, the future isn't the only important topic of conversation in your relationship. Far from it. There are so many things to talk about. The most important thing is someone's ability to talk about those important things. Men largely have a reputation for being poor communicators or just not communicating at all. Unfortunately, this reputation is often warranted, and most men will perpetuate this stereotype by fitting directly into it. This only serves to cause frustration amongst women who are actively dating, because they wonder if anyone is going to have the capacity to have real and meaningful conversation with them. So men who work to develop their communication skills and also their beliefs and viewpoints around important topics will easily set themselves apart simply by having conversations that are deeper than the surface level or superficial level. So a lot of men shy away from, these important topics, or they just don't want to have any interest in discussing them. I tell you, this level of communication is exactly how you get to know someone and form a bond with them. It takes consistency, it takes effort, it takes patience, but the payoff is always worth it. All right, so look out for the way he communicates with you. Number 7, he puts consistent effort. Now let's talk about 2 of these words, consistency and effort. Usually, a guy will just choose one, but both of these words need to be present if you're going to build a serious adult relationship with anyone. Remember that it is consistency, not the intensity of someone's action, that conveys true interest. Okay? Anyone can show up with big romantic gestures. Anyone can take you to a fancy dinner or buy expensive gifts or love bomb you for a short amount of time. Now, the true measure of how serious they are is how consistent their actions are. So here's the rub, right? Here's the deal. You can only figure this out over time as you observe how he acts towards you in the long run. This is why I suggest that you take inventory of the person that you're dating on a regular basis. It is difficult, but it's necessary. It requires you to be brutally honest with yourself about what you're seeing and how you feel about it at various times during the course of your courtship. Now, you love everything about this man. After 1 month, it's great. How about 3 months? How about 6 months? How about a year? And this doesn't mean to prevent yourself from developing feelings, though. It just means to remind yourself to pay attention to the things that really matter so that you don't get fooled by the things that don't matter. Number 8, he focuses on the things that really matter in life. And speaking of the things that really matter in life, what's really important in life? I believe that on a human level, we can largely agree on a few things that are more important than the others. Love, for example, family, friendship, human connection, contribution, making a positive impact in life, living with integrity, doing good for others, caring for loved ones, catering, creating fulfillment and happiness in our lives. And the list just goes on. I also believe that we also face this realization at different phases of our lives. Because to be honest with you, it's harder to connect with what really matters in your younger years because we're all chasing after the shiny things in life or the prettiest persons or the brightest light or the things that we think are going to bring us happiness. But in reality, we're disconnected from the essence of human fulfillment. So if you hope to build a solid and secure adult relationship with someone, he must be on the same page as you about what life's real priorities are. Otherwise, you will always be moving in such different directions that harmony will be nearly impossible to achieve or create. Okay. Number 9, he does not push for sex early on in a relationship. Now, notice that this does not say that he doesn't want sex early on. The point of this video, though, is to help you figure out or to help you identify guys that are different from the rest. And based on your own experience, that many of them are just chasing after one thing. So what then doesn't mean if a guy is patient, casual, and willing to move at your pace when it comes to turning up the heat. Now, because everyone is different, my guess would be that it means he wants you for more than just sex. It means that he's genuinely interested in you as a woman and sex is not the end goal. He's spending time with you. Because if the opportunity arises, the two of you are willing, consenting and eager parties in the endeavors, then by all means, act on those primal urges. I'm definitely not saying that he won't ask you for sex at some point in time. Men will always ask you for sex. I am saying, though, that it will be okay if you don't want to, or if it takes more time to feel that connection. He must always respect your boundaries. All right? In all ways, he will have to respect your boundaries. Remember, there is no sense in rushing into something that you don't want, and you want especially if you want the relationship to last long. So he's not going to pressure you and get upset when you say no. If he gets upset when you say no to sex, then he's not the right one. Please just bounce. He just wants to, because he just wants to have sex with you. Number 10, he respects your boundaries. Look. This is non-negotiable. Let me say it again. Non-negotiable. Your boundaries are your standards that you set for the treatment you accept from others and from yourself. So a man who is truly different from the rest is going to work to learn what your boundaries are, and he will never violate them. And if he does make a mistake, he will work to fix it and show you that it won't happen ever again. And you will see that it will never happen. So there is no excuse for a man to violate boundaries when he knows what they are. So if he makes a genuine mistake before you've communicated your boundaries to him, that's one thing. But if he already knows what you're uncomfortable with and he continues to do it, then let it be a goodbye. Number 11, he's inspired by your strength and not intimidated by it. Ladies, I need you to know how important of a point this is, and how many men out there seem to shy away from dating a woman who's got her shit together. I believe men are confused about where they fit into the life of a woman who doesn't need him. Men are conditioned from a young age as men to be the provider, to be the protector, to be the chaser, to be a pursuer. And that becomes ingrained in men's identity. The world, though, is different. Women are outpacing men educationally, professionally, financially, business-wise. And many men are being left out. They're being left behind. And they're confused about their roles in life and in love. So here's the thing though, as society evolves, thankfully, so must we. So must we. And so must men evolve as well. And men, I need you to know that those of you who still cling to the relics of the past will be left behind to be on display in museums alongside those men. Men, you must recognize your new roles as equal partners, as teammates, as supporters, as cheerleaders for the women in your life who are on their own paths and they're crushing their own goals. It should never be something that you should be intimidated by. Also, though, I encourage men to understand that what they bring to the table is emotional support, affection, love, strength to share, shoulders to ease a burden. Just because a woman doesn't need a man to provide financially doesn't mean that she's lost the desire for men to be a caring and intimate partner. In fact, that desire has likely increased as it becomes a more important role for a man to take on. Okay? Only the men who realize this and fully step into the role with confidence are going to thrive in this modern day relationships. It doesn't mean that anyone is taking away your masculinity. It just means that it is evolving. It is shifting in its role, finding its new form. A woman doesn't want her feminine strength to overpower you. She very much wants you to exemplify and display healthy masculine energy. And this is the only way that you can stand beside her and match her energy to create harmony together. Number 12, he cares for himself. Now, I have said it before and I will say it again. Self-care is not selfish. In fact, self-care is necessary if you hope to show up for your loved ones at your best. Self-care is mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Self-care shows that you value and respect yourself, which in turn increases your chances of receiving respect from others. Self-care keeps you physically healthy and able to stay active, living a vibrant life. Self-care keeps you mentally connected, sharp, and energized. Self-care keeps you emotionally sound, at peace, and present in your relationship. Self-care helps you build internal confidence and love, which radiates outward in all of your interaction and relationships. A lot of men just let themselves go as time goes on, particularly if they get into a relationship and feels like their work is done here, when in reality, it is just the opposite. And life becomes more complex and dynamic over time, and self-care becomes more and more important, particularly now that someone is counting on you to be around for as long as possible. Maybe a few people, if you have children, you're the foundation for the life that you choose to build. And if you don't first put in the work to solidify that foundation, there is no guarantee that it will stay strong under the weight of life itself. So remember that the most important relationship you will ever have is the one that you have with yourself. If that one isn't healthy, none of your others will be. And you need to stay healthy long enough for your wife, for your children, and for your businesses. Okay? So that's it. These are the 12 things or the 12 signs to show you that this guy is different from the rest, and you need to stick with such a guy if you find one. Happy New Year, okay? See you in 2024. This is the last video. We made it up to 400 videos. We're capping the year 2023 with 400 videos, and I am so excited about it. I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you for changing my life, everyone. Thank you for being part of this community of lovers, and thank you so much for the engagement. Let's come 10 times harder next year. Okay? Thank you so much, and God bless and keep every one of you. Your years will be plenty, and you will live in good health, sound, and prosperous. Nothing missing, nothing broken in your life. You will not die before your time, and you will stay healthy for your children, your unborn children, your husband, and your wives. All right? Thank you so much, guys. I really do love you, and you mean the world to me. See you in 2024. Mwah.